So on Memorial Day, one of the minor league baseball teams ran this, what they think is like this patriotic video supporting the troops and talking about how America's so great. And look at what they threw in this video. This is something else.
We must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have. It is a weapon that we as Americans do have. Let that be understood by those who practice terrorism and prey upon their neighbors. As for the enemies of freedom, those who are potential adversaries, they will be reminded that peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it now or ever. We are Americans.
So for those of you who are listening and you didn't see it, among enemies of freedom, they put Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Also in that grouping was Kim Jong-un. Now, the team has since come out and apologized for this. And they were basically like, oh my God, we're sorry. We had another company make it, and then we didn't review it, and then we ran it, and we didn't realize what was in it, and we're sorry. This doesn't reflect our team. This doesn't reflect, our beliefs, and we apologize to Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And, I don't know who made it, but whoever made it, when somebody makes a point like this, they're either just incredibly ignorant and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, or they're brainwashed or dumb. Because I feel like the constant, nonstop Fox News propaganda about somebody like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, for many people that can chip away and they actually start believing she's bad or whatever. But when you really get specific and you go, okay, what is she actually fighting for? Why do you dislike her? Why does somebody dislike her? Tell me why you dislike her. Why don't you like her? Apart from the stupid surface reasons they might give, why do you actually dislike her? What, as a politician, is she in favor of that you're so against? My guess is they won't be able to tell you. And they won't be able to tell you because they don't really know. And if they did know, if you just put on a sheet of paper, hey, here are the policies she's for, forget a name, forget a face, there's a politician, and the politician supports X, Y, and Z, my guess is the overwhelming majority of Americans will be like, oh, that's awesome. I support that politician. I mean, the fucking first thing she proposed is a bill with Bernie Sanders that caps interest rates at, 12% or something like that? So it stops banks and predatory payday lenders from screwing over regular people and consumers. I mean, that's like, who the fuck in their right mind looks at that and goes, ha! How could you? I side with the predatory payday lenders and the big banks. Oh, you do? Well, then you're what I would call a useful idiot. What's AOC for? She's for legalizing marijuana, doing criminal justice reform, and getting nonviolent offenders out of prison. She's in favor of giving everybody health care. And by the way, we would save money with her preferred policy, which is Medicare for all. She's for free college. She's for a living wage. So when you look at all these things, they help regular people. They help working people. When you compare basically a mild milquetoast social democrat, which is what her actual policies are, when you compare that with fucking Kim Jong-un, an authoritarian strongman dictator who kills his political opponents and starves his country, do you not see how you just ruined all of your credibility? Do you not understand that? Do you not understand that you're either ignorant, you're massively brainwashed, or you're just a total fucking idiot? That those are the only options. Listen, I'm sympathetic if somebody doesn't know something and they admit they don't know it. And then they're like, okay, let me look this up or let me see exactly what's going on here. I'm sympathetic as hell because not everybody just knows everything you know or whatever. But when you're actively smearing, misstating, lying, overreaching, then I have no sympathy for you, and I will fucking own your ass. And whoever fucking made this is a piece of garbage. I mean, I want to be kind. I don't see how I can in this circumstance. When you include Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a U.S. congressperson, who's a social democrat with authoritarian dictators. By the way, I don't know if you caught it, they also threw in Antifa there among enemies of freedom. Now, I'm no fan of, in fact, I would debate head-on many Antifa tactics with, somebody from Antifa, and I would explain to them why I think they're not correct necessarily on political violence, among many other things. But the idea that you throw in Antifa with the enemies of freedom when, at other parts in the video, parts you didn't see there, they were like, it was like World War II where we are fighting the Nazis. I got news for you. The U.S. military was the original Antifa, fighting the actual Nazis. The idea that now you have people, Antifa standing for anti-fascist, stands for fighting against, white nationalists, white supremacists, fascists. That's the same concept. Again, I think there's a distinction between domestic politics versus, foreign policy, and I think there's a distinction between when you should use political violence. I don't believe in it in any other time except for defense, and you could argue that Antifa has gone beyond that in many instances, and again, I would disagree with them and I would debate them on that. But to draw that link is just beyond stupid. They're enemies of freedom. I mean, come on, man. Again, AOC, enemy of freedom. Meanwhile, she's against the NSA spying. That is an actual restriction on your freedom. Illegal, unconstitutional spying. She's against that. She's against locking people up for fucking nonviolent drug offenses. That would mean she's pro-freedom. I could give you a list of 1,000 fucking things that show that she's more in favor of freedom, but they include her on the list of enemies of freedom. You know what I hate? The bullshit mythology. I can't stand the mythology nonsense. The idea, look at Reagan giving a speech. No! Look at the picture of Reagan in his suit with the flag behind him. Throw an eagle in there. Oh, yes, an eagle. Oh, so good. So patriotic, yes. Save your fucking myth building and oh my God, he didn't do nothing wrong ever. Reagan was right about everything. Look at his soaring speech. I don't give a fuck if it's Veterans Day, if it's Memorial Day, if it's the 4th of July. Intelligent people can rationally discuss the policies implemented by these characters and the direction that it took the country. And I got news for you. When somebody like Reagan massively deregulated and cut taxes for the rich, that helped destroy the economy. It led to a boom-bust cycle. It was bad. It was a negative thing. When he did Iran-Contra, and you're enemies of freedom, and you include AOC, and you suck off Ronald Reagan in the same speech. If you can't tell, I have no patience for, hokey right-wing myth-making, and also lies and smears and throwing people like AOC or Bernie Sanders or Ilhan Omar or Ro Khan or any of these people under the bus. Because it pisses me off more than anything that these same people who are smearing these politicians are probably the same people who would actually massively benefit from the good policies being pushed by these politicians. But no, instead you fucking compare her to Kim Jong-un because you're a dipshit. She couldn't be more different. A social democrat. Like a libertarian leftist versus a fucking authoritarian strongman. So anyway, next time I hope the minor league baseball teams kind of, I don't know, just take a quick look at the videos that you're playing, the fake patriotic nonsense videos that you're playing.